morning class. For today's lecture, we'll be continuing with our Indian geography syllabus. For this class, we'll be learning about the physiographic divisions of India, such as the northern mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. In our previous class, we have learned some very crucial points such as India's total extension, the northernmost extension, southernmost extension, eastern, western. Then we learned about boundaries and borders. We also learned about the various lines. We learned about the areas which are known as your disturbed areas, their longitudes, latitudes. Then we also learned about Indian standard. Indian standard time allows us to have one single time all over the country. It is at 82 degrees and 30 minutes east, right? So let's continue today with our class. So here we come to formation of the Himalayas, the timeline. So firstly we have Pangaea and Panthalassa. The continent is known as Pangaea, which was surrounded by the ocean, which was Panthalassa. Pangaea broke around 150 million years ago. It formed Laurasia in the north and Gondwana land in the south. Tethys Sea formed a long narrow sea between Laurasia and Gondwana. Sediment deposition, rivers deposit sediments into Tethys Sea, filling it up. Gondwana land and Angara land break further. Indo-Australian plate, including Indian subcontinent and Eurasian plate, emerged. Plate convergence. Indo-Australian plate drift northward, colliding with the Eurasian plate. Fold formation. Tethys Sea shrinks. Sediments are pushed upwards, creating folds. Himalayas rise. Tethys Sea disappears. Uplifted sediments form the Himalayas. Ongoing uplift. Plates continue to converge, causing the Himalayas to rise about 5 mm per year. Now we come to the northern and northeastern mountains. This region encompasses the Himalayas and the northeastern hills, formed significant physical, climatic, drainage, and cultural divides for the Indian subcontinent. Himalayas. The mountain ranges are Greater Himalayas or Himadri, the lesser or middle Himalayas or Himachal, the outer Himalayas or Shivaliks, and the eastern hills or Purvanchal. Location: Asia extending across multiple countries including India, China, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and Afghanistan. Size: the land is approximately 2500 kilometers from east to west, right? And width is 160 kilometers to 400 kilometers. Height average 6000 meters. Highest peak is Mount Everest at 8848 meters. India's highest peak is Kanchenjunga or Mount Ketu at 8586 meters and located at the border of Nepal and Sikkim. Key points: the Himalayas are young full mountains formed due to tectonic plate collisions. They act as a natural barrier and influence India's climate, drainage patterns, and cultural landscape. The Himalayas are home to some of the world's highest peaks, including Mount Everest and Kanchenjunga. Now we come to major subdivisions of the Himalayas. The Trans-Himalayas, Kashmir or Northwestern Himalayas, Tibetan Himalayas. Location: north of the Great Himalayan Range, primarily in Tibet. Mountain ranges are Karakoram, Ladakh, northeast of Karakoram divided into plains and mountains. We have the Soda Plains, Saichen, Lingzi Tang, Lepsang Plains, Chang Chenmo, Zaskar. Zaskar includes the Nanga Parbat, Pir Panjal Kailas range. Mount Kailas stands at 6714 meters. Features include cold desert, Kashmir Valley, Dal Lake, Baltoro, and Siachen glaciers. Passes are Zojila in Jammu and Kashmir, Banihal, Fotula, Khardungla, Nathula in Sikkim. Lakes include Wular, Dal Lake is the freshwater lake, Pangong So, So Moriri is the saltwater lake. Rivers drained by the Indus and its tributaries such as Jhelum and Chenab. Notable pilgrimage sites such as Vaishno Devi, Amarnath, Kareva formations for saffron cultivation. So in this diagram, you can see the Karakoram range, the Western Himalaya, the Central Himalaya, the Eastern Himalaya. So just have a look at the diagram. So now we come on to the Middle Himalayas or Himachal. Location is between the Shivaliks and the Greater Himalayas. Elevation is 3,500 to 4,500 meters above sea level. Width is 60 to 80 kilometers. Length is 2,400 kilometers. Slopes are steep, bare southern slopes, gentle forested northern slopes. Features are hill stations such as Shimla, Mussoorie, etc. Valleys are Kashmir, Kangra, Kulu, and important ranges like Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, Mussoorie, and Nakhtim. Rivers drained by the Indus and Ganga river system. Pir Panjal Range. It is the longest and most important range in the Himalayas. It extends from the Jhelum River to the upper Bias River. Peaks here are over 5,000 meters of mainly volcanic rocks. Passes are Pir Panjal, Bidil, Golaghar, Banihal. Valleys are Kashmir Valley. It is the synclinal basin with alluvial deposits, Kangra Valley, Strike Valley, Kullu Valley, Transverse Valley. Then we come on to the Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. Location between the Great Plains, Lesser Himalayas, which varies from 50 kilometers in Himachal to 15 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. Slopes are steep southern slopes, gentle northern slopes. Features mostly unbroken chain of hill except for the Tista and Raidak river valleys. Vegetation, thick forest in the east decreasing towards the west. Formation, consolidated sand gravel conglomerate deposits. The different names are Jammu Hills, Dhang Dhundwa Range, Turiaghat Hills, Dafla Miri Abor, and Mishmi Hills. Now we come on to dunes. Dunes are formed temporary lakes created by conglomerate deposit obstructing rivers, later drained, leaving plains. Examples are Dehradun, which is the largest one. Then we have Kota, Patli, Kotri, etc. The middle Himalayas are more accessible and habitable than the greater Himalayas. Shivaliks are the youngest and lowest range, formed from river deposits. Dunes are fertile valleys created by the drainage of temporary lakes. Finally, we come on to Purvanchal or Eastern Hills. They are at southward extension of the Himalayas along India's northeastern border with Myanmar. Formed by a sharp bend in the Himalayas at the Dihang Gorge, extends from Arunachal to Mizoram, convex shape towards the west. Major hill ranges Patkai Boom, Naga Hills, Manipur, Barail, and Mizo Hills or Lushai Hills. So now we come on to the regional divisions of the Himalayas. Punjab Himalaya between Indus and Satluj. States are Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal features high snow-covered peaks. Then Kumaon Himalayas between Satluj and Kali, known as Garhwal Himalayas. Then we have Nepal Himalaya with Kali and Tista River. Finally, we have Arunachal Himalayas between Bhutan Himalayas to Difu. Direction is southwest to northeast. Peaks are Kangtu, Namcha, Barwa. Rivers are Kameng, Subansiri, Dihang, Lohit. So with this, we have come to the end of today's lesson. We have learned about the Himalayas. We have seen where they are located, the various regional divisions. In our next class, we shall move on to the islands or the drainage pattern. Thank you.